What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talk Talk Punch. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Brody, joined by Tudong Dylan.
Hey.
And we're missing a Charlie tonight, but he is missed and loved. But he'll be back. Don't you worry.
He's actually had another baby, oddly. They say to wait at least a year, and he just could not wait.
Just 2 months.
There we go. Another kid. More for paternity leave.
Oh, my goodness. More paternity leave. All right. So we here at Talk Talk Punch have been the wonderful little community. We love interacting with you guys. We love just having fun, and that's the reason that we're doing all this. So please remember to be kind in the comments, because we're all just having some fun. But while you're here, make sure you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Do all the stuff, because it actually does help. Believe it or not, it actually does help. We got to get into that algorithm. So, and then once you do all that, then you come back every Wednesday to see what we're talking about. Kind of like this week's topic, we are finally reviewing The Batman. Now that it's out on HBO Max, you could stream it, you could watch it. So Tudong finally got out there and saw it. I, of course, saw it in the theaters because I'm a real fan. Tudong didn't, because he...
unbelievable. See, whereas Brody has about 12 kids. He has like a baseball team. This is the first one. So it had all sorts of different sort of focus.
That's true.
You understand, folks.
It's
you get it.
It's true.
Brody's a pro at this. I'm a novice. However, I will say.
Say it.
It was worth the wait. And watching it was an absolute treat. Brode, let me just go ahead. You're a Batman fan. I'm a Batman fan. We love Batman.
Big Batman.
When he's misrepresented, it drives us nuts.
Sure.
Let me ask you.
Okay.
How was he, the Batman, and Bruce Wayne represented, as far as you're concerned?
Well, let me start out by saying that this is a spoiler-filled review. If for some reason you have not seen The Batman, you didn't see it in theaters, you haven't watched it on HBO, why are you clicking on a video that's a review? We're going to spoil it all. We're talking about everything. Everything.
The whole thing.
All in a short review discussion.
Everybody dies.
Everybody.
It's like Infinity War, everybody dies. So the spoiler is out.
It's out there. You've been warned. All right. So getting into the movie, overall feelings. I really liked this movie. And I walked out, and my wife said, I think this is my favorite Batman movie. And I walked out and I said, is this? I don't know. And it was really like an internal thing for me. There was a lot of processing with this movie because there was a lot of stuff that I think it did really well. There's a lot of stuff that I think it did better than any other Batman movie. But then there was other stuff that I was like, it was good, but I kind of liked what other movies did in this area. So, without giving too much away, because we do have plans to one day do a full ranking of all the Batman movies. It's something we kind of want to do. It'll be fun. So without giving too much away, this is close, but I don't think it's my number one.
Really?
Yeah.
Folks, Brody's number one, when you find out, will shock you.
It'll shock you.
Shocking stuff.
Shocking. But however, I really liked this movie. I really liked it. I thought it was really well done. And I really liked Batman. We didn't get much Bruce Wayne though. That's true.
But we did get some. But the movie is called The Batman, not the Bruce Wayne.
It's true. So, Tudong, how about your kind of overall thoughts? I kind of gave like a brief, like, this is where I kind of land with it. And then we'll get into the details, but kind of an overall thought. Where you at?
That's funny. I mean, ranking wise, I mean, it would be up there. I've got to, I mean, it's one of those things where I did see it kind of recently, so I haven't digested it as much as you've been able to, but there's a lot of it, a lot that I thought to myself, this kind of, you know, you look at some of the things and you're like, this is not the world that has like this. You're not going to see any kind of an Adam West 1966 version in The Dark Knight, you know, not even an allusion to it. None of that kind of thing. Not that, like in I'm sorry, Batman v Superman, where Alfred's like, oh, it's different than the penguin, wind up penguin toy, exploding penguins. That's like Batman 66 reference. And that I thought there's no way anything like that is going to be in this movie. And it's funny how they kind of, you know, I mean, I always took the Batman 66 as bright. It's like he was like Superman in the way where he's like, you know, he was a role model. He was out there talking to people and saying, you know, all kinds of stuff. Like when Superman in Superman he says, you know, the the train station is the safest way, you know, of travel and all that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing Batman 66 would say. And that kind of optimism I saw, you know, as it was there. And it shocked me because I was like, how did this kind of a movie get this kind of optimism? And I loved it. I thought it was really well. I loved it. I thought it was really well done, as I was about to say.
How about your take on Batman?
You know, I've got to say, he was the calmest Batman while still being very serious that I've ever seen. I loved how calm he was. Yes, he did get upset in certain instances. Obviously, you know, he's in extreme times, but I mean, he remained so calm during certain times that I was just kind of like, people are just insulting him right to his face, and he's just kind of like, I really don't care. And I thought that is he was a detective. He's like, this stuff's not gonna rattle me. Whereas, you know, other Batmen would get, you know, really upset. And hey, he does get upset. But when he's doing his day-to-day stuff, when he is with the police collecting evidence, he was calm. He didn't care what those other cops thought of him. He was doing what he had to do. And I thought that was really well done. I loved that aspect right there. The fact that he was even working with the cops, I always loved seeing that.
Yeah.
In all the Batman movie, I love seeing Batman like working with the police, and it wasn't too big when he went. You know, obviously spoilers. When he jumped off of the police station when he's escaping, he stopped and he's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Because he was high up.
Yeah.
He wasn't Superman. He wasn't like, "I've got this." He was like, "Whoa!" Like, what am I about to do?
He had to psych himself up a little bit.
This is a terrible idea. I gotta still do it. Did you know, by the way, that street where he kind of, because spoiler alert, he flies down and he hits his parachute and he almost kills himself.
Should be dead. Should be dead.
Oh yeah, he'd be dead. He'd be dead. That was the one part where I'm like, no, he's dead. He can't do that. No, but okay. I'm like, I don't want him to be dead, so I'll take it. But did you know that was the same street where in The Dark Knight, the Joker was like, come on, hit me.
Was it really?
Yep, same street. They filmed the same place. That was the same street.
Interesting. Yeah, it was neat to see how much he was working with Gordon. Right? They really had a good relationship, and I think that
I loved it.
It helps that we skip year one, right? This isn't an origin story. We come in, Batman's, you know, year 2-ish or so. And he has a relationship with Gordon. He's kind of rocky with the cops. You know, a lot of the cops are not crazy about him and don't really like him. But he has that relationship with Gordon that I really enjoyed.
He even said, Gordon says, he's like, the only one I trust here is you.
Yeah.
I thought that he was like, you're turning against me also too. And he was like, you're the only one I actually trust. I was like, that actually made me feel really good. I got to admit. I was like, that's really cool. They're friends. But I mean, now this also, by the way, this had, speaking of other good guys, this had the third iteration of Catwoman. Well, there was 66. There was
Fourth. Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
And then Dark Knight Rises.
So this is the fourth. Yes, this is the fourth.
And really, technically, we had various Batman 66 Catwomen.
That's also true. So, but I mean, they all were playing that same Catwoman character.
Yeah. But if you think theatrical, then yes.
Right. So, what did you think of this one? I'll be honest, I didn't get a good read. I didn't quite know. Like, they didn't give us a lot of her in some of the trailers, so I just did not know. What did you think after you saw it?
So this Catwoman, not my favorite.
Okay, not your favorite.
I am not really when they lean into like the, and she wasn't in this movie, but like the prostitute kind of origin. Like in year one, in the Frank Miller year one, she was a prostitute. That
right?
Am I remembering that correctly?
You are. You're remembering correctly. And in fact, Bruce got into a fight with her pimp, and she jumped down. Not because she was helping out the pimp, but because I guess her friend Holly was getting in on the fight, and so. So yes, you're right.
And so while in this movie she isn't the prostitute, it's very much year one. She's like a cocktail girl, in the Iceberg Lounge, and
that's true.
And that's not my favorite take. I thought Zoe Kravitz was fine.
I did too. I thought she did a good job. But you're right. That was kind of year one, while Batman was already in year two. That's a good point.
And so
I had a question.
I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. I think
I had a question.
Okay, yeah.
She said that she was Carmine Falcone or Falcone's daughter, right?
Yeah.
This is my question. She tells Batman this, or does he already know? Because he's already being kind of nice to her, but he's not being sexual with her, So I thought this whole time he knew that she was his daughter. But then,
I don't know.
At the end, she's all like, "You remember me? I'm Mary Kyle's daughter."
Oh, you're talking about Falcone being nice to her.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Bruce.
Like he knew
it was kind of weird. I thought the same thing. Yeah. Because he, when he first saw her, he's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you for a while."
Yeah, it's like, "Hey, daughter, I haven't seen you for a while." He wasn't like, "Hey, I haven't had sex with you for a while, kid." He didn't do that at all. And so I thought he must know I thought the whole time she knew. But then at the very end, she's all like, "I am this person." And he didn't seem surprised either. He was like, "Yeah, I remember your mom."
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little strange. I remember being confused too, because she was like, "I'm Maria Kyle's
I'm your daughter."
And he's like, and it was like, I thought that this whole thing was established, but apparently not.
Yeah, we talk about this before? So I will say, I liked her claws when she used those. I was always wondering, because I kind of would see them, and then she actually like cut somebody. I was like, "Wow, yeah, nope, those are good. Those are strong."
Yeah. What did you think of her?
Well, I thought that, like I said, this wasn't anything to do with the Zoe Kravitz's performance at all. I think it was the writing and the directing that made it confused. Like, I thought the whole time, Falcone knew that was his daughter. That's how he acted the whole time. So, but like I said, so I actually liked that she kept calling him Vengeance. I liked her take on it. I really did.
Yeah.
I agree. It was year one-ish, and that was to do with the writing, but I kind of liked it. I liked that she was going through different disguises almost. Like even though I know, like, maybe like her, she has all that stuff because that's her job. But I kind of like that. My question for you, what did you think of Alfred?
He really wasn't in it that much.
I thought he'd be in it more too.
For it being Andy Serkis, I was excited because I really like Andy Serkis.
Yeah, no, he's really good.
But yeah, he was kind of there. He did some stuff. and then he was in the hospital, and then he was just kind of like not around
in the
very
background.
much. Yeah. So I was hoping to see more of him.
It is always good if the worst part about it is it's not enough of him. You know, you want more. That's
right.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
But it's true. They should have really. They had a lot of room to give him more.
Yeah. How about the so this made me laugh because I walked out and I was like, who was the old lady that was living in the house with them? Who was this? A nod back to the 1966? Like, who did they just need a character to answer the phone when after Alfred got blown up? So they invented this random caretaker. I'm like, isn't taking care of the house Alfred's job? Who is this lady? What is she doing there? Who's paying her? She like.
Who is paying? Indeed, he had the whole business still, even though he didn't go. But I mean, yeah, you know, there was an article I read where they were like, more than one person probably knows that besides Alfred, that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and they're like, it's probably, I can't even remember her name. I thought it was Mary or
I don't know,
Maddie or Meredith. I know it started with an M, but I mean, she like picked up the phone when Bruce Wayne wasn't there, and like there was an explosion, and she was very nonplussed. So I would assume that she knows that Bruce is Batman. He's not hiding it from her,
I guess.
But yeah, that really was a nod to the Batman 66.
I don't know who she was.
Can you guess? I don't know either. But you know, here's a nod. But it's a nod. If you caught this reference to a comic series, a comic run of Batman with the contact lenses. That was a nod to something.
I really liked that was in there, but what is that a nod to?
You like this? This is one of your favorite comic runs that you've had of Batman.
Oh, well, doggone it!
You got me into that run as well.
I don't know. You got to remind me.
Court of Owls.
Oh, is it in Court of Owls?
That's right. That's where it started, where he would put a contact lens in and be like, "I've got to know." They even insinuated that in Hush. The whole he wrote down like in his journals and what happened and chronicled his stuff. That was referenced in Hush. But the contact lens. I loved how you had that contact lens. Everything else looked so low grade.
Yeah.
Even the phone looked so. It looked like he had built it himself. And I was like, at one part of it, I was like, that is so what happened. At the same time, I was like, that's genius. I love it.
Well, and that's one thing that I really liked about this movie was that he had gadgets the whole time. He's pulling out little gadgets, whether it's a smoke bomb, whether it's adrenaline or venom or whatever it is at the end.
They said that was adrenaline.
It was green. I don't know.
I know. And
is adrenaline green?
He regrets making it green. He just wanted the audience to be able to see it. But he did say it was just adrenaline. It wasn't venom. He didn't mean to do that.
Well, they can always retcon that. It's okay.
That's true. That's true. But now riddle me this, Batman.
Okay.
What did you think of the Riddler?
Okay, so people who watch this know that Riddler is my favorite villain. He's my favorite Batman villain. And my ideal picture-perfect Riddler is Batman the Animated Series. This one is pretty different. There were some things that I thought was really interesting. I liked that he did stuff with riddles. I liked that he was smart. He was even like outsmarting Batman with stuff. Like he seemed like he was almost a step ahead of Batman throughout the movie, and Batman was trying to keep up.
One of my favorite parts, I was sitting there and I was just like, oh my gosh. When he was saying when he goes there and he's thinking to himself, he probably knows my secret identity. He probably just knows my secret identity. He goes in there and he's all just like Bruce Wayne, and he's just standing there like.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. He's like, I can't believe this little peon here is going to be the end of this. I can't believe, but he doesn't do anything. He's calm. He's collected. Yeah. And then he's all like, we almost got Bruce Wayne too, didn't we? And he's just like,
yeah. It was a different take. I enjoyed the take. It's not my ideal Riddler, but I enjoyed it.
True.
How,
That's good.
how about you?
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I did. I'll say this. I don't know about like I think the ending was a little heavy-handed, where it was just like, oh, everybody needs a friend, or kind of a thing. Maybe that's leading to him, evolving into that more you know uh you know Batman art animated series kind of Riddler, because I mean it would seem that way. And they also did say, and here's another bit of trivia, by the way. This is the first time that the Joker, the Penguin, the Riddler, and Catwoman have been in the same movie since Batman '66.
Hmm.
Live action, live action.
Interesting.
But I thought it was good. There were parts that I thought could have been better. He could have been a smidge. He was pretty imposing. Kind of wish he was still kind of imposing. He kind of broke down a little bit. I don't know.
I
But
think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I was gonna say, I think the part that I wasn't crazy about with him was the reveal that he was like a social media guy and had like followers, and so we've kind of grown accustomed to like this Riddler throughout the movie, and then we kind of get this turn where he's just using like a normal voice, and he's like, "Hey guys, thanks so much for subscribing. Really appreciate all the support." Like that part, yeah. I was like, oh, but like, why can't he just be like this force through the whole thing? Why do we need this turn into like, oh, he's actually just like a social media thing, and he's
like, if he was strong even then, with that strong presence, then I would have accepted it.
Sure,
but I mean,
sure.
Switching it up like that, I was like, why would you do it? I mean, even if it was a strategy, I get it. It was kind of disappointing. That's true.
Sure.
What a strong. We're thinking it's a strong character, what have you. Now the real question, and I mentioned him just now, Penguin.
Penguin was really. I really liked this Penguin, right? We haven't gotten like a whole lot of Penguin, right? We've got 66 Penguin, we've got Returns Penguin, which is very different. And this is the first time we're kind of getting this mob boss Penguin. Like, Colin Farrell, man. Like, if you didn't know it was Colin Farrell, you wouldn't know it was Colin Farrell, Like, the prosthetics, all the stuff, like he did a really neat job. I'm actually really excited to see where this character goes from here. He's kind of like a lackey almost to Falcone in this movie. He's got the Iceberg Lounge, but it's kind of like Iceberg Lounge is almost like Falcone's thing, right? And so I'm
dead, by the way.
Who's dead
now.
Yes.
The Penguin's taken over. He's taken over. He's got to be taken. Of course, when you saw that look in his face,
oh yeah,
he was looking out on everything. He was like, I'm taking over. And by the way, that one look right there, and what had happened at the very end when Gotham is flooded, which comic run did that remind you leading into?
Oh, very much of the No Man's Land.
Yeah.
I was like, this is very much No Man's Land. Let's just destroy the city.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised that they went there just like that. And I that's where I really enjoyed with Batman. He was there in the daylight helping people, like rescue people. He had rescued, what did he rescue? Like 100 people?
Something like that.
That was unbelievable. I couldn't believe that. Like, they never showed Batman in the daytime, after Adam West.
Well, besides Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises, he was in the daylight all the time.
He was in the daylight for the little amount that he was on screen, but that was one of the first times that they trusted the costume. But he was there, and I thought that was really cool. And he was talking about I'm more than just vengeance, which I still love that they called him. Every time Catwoman was like, come on, vengeance, I was like, that's cool. Come on.
Wow. Now you mentioned the costume. What are your thoughts on the costume?
It took me a little bit to get used to those gauntlets.
Did it? Okay.
It took me a little bit, because I was kind of like, the first thing I thought of was Black Widow. That was the first thing I
Okay.
thought. But as I saw him using it, I loved that his grappling hook was right there, and he just shot up. I thought that was really cool. In fact, I thought all of the gadgets were really cool. I
Yeah.
love and I hate contact lenses, but I loved that whole thing. I thought that was so cool, and it was like just on his own eye right there.
Yeah.
People say that the bat suit looked like it was indestructible, and it was surprising because he would get like knocked back.
He got
And
shot, like point blank, got shot.
that's true, but it was right where he was most armored, like his chest. They kept getting his chest or his arm. And let me just also say, I loved the fight choreography. He fought these guys, and
He could move.
good.
He could move in this suit.
And I mean, a lot of the other times it was hard to move. There were certain techniques that I thought were just kind of being done over and over, or this or that, whatever it was. This was really good fight choreography. And like you said, he looked fast, he looked strong, he looked human. He wasn't CG'd out. He was actually, there was guys doing this thing, and I thought that was really cool, and long takes, so it wasn't like one or two and then cut, and then they pulled that camera back so we could see beautiful choreography. And I loved how he moved with that cape. If that cape was CG, I would understand, because that was really cool how he moved with that. I was just like, several times he was something or another, and I was just like, I don't even know what he did, but that was maybe that had to be CGI, because that was so cool. Whatever they had done was excellent with that.
Yeah, the way that he fought, the way that he was able to get in and take people down, I really liked. Especially, during the Dark Knight trilogy, we had a lot of the close cuts, close quick cuts. That was just kind of how a lot of movies were doing it back then.
There was a move that Christian Bale's Batman did a whole lot.
He did that
like this, and he would always come in, but it was all the time, and it was as if he lost his ability to do martial arts in the last one, and so he just became like a boxer, which I didn't get. But he had done that before, and I loved all of that. It was, like I said, too much sometimes of that particular move. But he moved like better than a lot, like all the other guys. And this Batman, they were really doing choreography, and I thought that was cool. And I thought, now, am I correct? But when he, at the very end, when he took off his chest plate, that was supposedly, and the director verified this, was from the gun that killed his parents, and he cuts off that thing. Did he lose that? Like, did you see it at the end? Like, when did he have it again?
I think it's back. Yeah, I don't think he lost it.
I thought so too, and I was glad. I thought I was like, did he just lose that? Like, he couldn't have lost that. Come on, don't do that, Batman.
One thing that I thought with that scene in particular, why didn't he just throw it?
Yeah, or why didn't he cut it off and hold above it?
Yeah. Oh.
And how exactly? I know he's armored, but let me just say, even I was kind of like, that's some shallow water for falling like that. That's very shallow water, sir. Why didn't you shoot your other bat thing that you had in your gauntlets? I didn't quite get that part.
He had to get down to save the people.
That's also true.
Okay, so back to the suit real quick. Is this your favorite suit?
I'm thinking that well, we can't say anything like that because we're about to rank the suits. So we can't, I plead the fifth, sir. I plead the fifth. Goodness. I will say they did draw inspiration from Gotham by Gaslight for this
with
suit,
the collar. I love that collar. Oh gosh, I love that collar.
Oh yeah, folks, Gotham by Gaslight is what they were basing that collar off of, and a lot of that suit, I'd also say. Interestingly, by the way, and this was an idea that Pattinson himself came up with. Whenever he was with the cops and he was looking around at things, he intentionally moved and just kind of blended in like an apparition. He wanted to kind of do that. He wanted to blend in, didn't want to make a big show or big presence. He was like, I'm going to kind of blend in, like I'm almost invisible, like an apparition. And when I looked back, I was like, that's true. He did do that. That's cool.
I will say, and maybe this is spoilers, but when we do our ranking, it's going to be between the three of us. So it's going to be a joint thing. Normally, when we do lists or rankings and stuff like that, it's kind of our individuals. But we want to have the official Talk Punch rankings of suits. So I will just say, this is my favorite suit of all the suits. I love this suit. It is
really good.
It is so cool to look at. It's so cool to see him move, to see the tactical part of it, to see the armor part of it, to see the gadgets. I love the cowl. I love how high on his cheeks it comes. That's one thing that other cowls, including the Dark Knight one, I think have not done a good job at. Is finding that the right size of opening. I thought the Affleck one was really strangely shaped. I thought the Dark Knight one was too small. This one, I loved how much it opened up. I loved it.
Yeah. That's good. And not only that, I got to say, I loved how, I love the use of the eye darkening stuff. I love that became like a part of his thing, even as Bruce Wayne. He's going undercover, and we see him infiltrating undercover.
Yeah.
I thought that was dead. And when he comes in, I thought, oh, he's going to get into a fight with the twins again. He didn't do that. Somehow he just was in. And I'm like, that's Batman. There he is. I loved it. He wasn't even in costume. And he was like, I'm Batmaning right through it. Right through. The guy's like, wait, what? What happened? And I'm locked out. It's raining, isn't it? I love that whole thing.
Was there anything in this movie that you weren't a fan of, that just didn't work for you? Or that you thought could have just been improved upon?
I would have loved for them to improve upon that whole, does Falcone know it's his daughter or not? And if not, then they really, like, why do they have such a good chaste relationship? Because I didn't understand that quite at all. Yeah, I didn't like the weakening of the Riddler. I mean, that as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty much it. What about you? What did you, besides those, I mean, was there anything you didn't care for?
I thought that it was a little odd, and maybe this is just for where he is in his Batman career, that there were opportunities for him to go stealth, such as going into the Iceberg Lounge, right? I feel like we could have seen some cool stealth stuff, but instead Batman's going and knocking on the front door, right? And it's
that's another Batman 66 thing. He's like, all right, citizens, go about your business. I have dealings with the Penguin. I was like, I couldn't help it, man. I was just like, I can't believe he's just walking right in. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he's walking around, he's knocking on the front door. And I remember I watched it and I was like, not through a skylight, not through a window or a big vent, just through the front door, huh?
Just he walks right. He doesn't need any of that.
and maybe that's just kind of where he is as a character. Maybe we'll get more of that, in other movies or something like that.
I actually thought that he did that because you remember how they were saying that Falcone was basically hiding out in that lounge, like he hadn't been out in almost like years. I thought that it kind of was one of those just about impenetrable places. So Batman's like, I'm not even like, I've tried getting in before. Let's just go right in. Although in the very next scene, like when he went in as Bruce Wayne, he Batmaned his way right in there, like you'd expect him to have done. So I mean, maybe there was a reason for it because we know he could do it.
I don't know. I just thought it was kind of silly. I will say I also not a fan of the Joker.
Yeah, no, I didn't care for that.
I didn't think it was necessary in what they included in the movie. I did not like the deleted scene. I don't like and I know that they're saying like this is before he's the Joker and stuff like that. Not a fan of the design. I don't like the heavy scarring. Like heavy honestly, it's so heavy. It's like almost hard to see him, and they changed the lips all around. It's very like Lee Bermejo. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The artist who did the Joker comic.
Right. Yeah.
But I I didn't like it. And honestly, like, even watching it in the theaters and getting the Joker scene where it's, oh, it's a clown, and they live a redemption story. I was almost like, I don't know if I want another Joker yet. Like, I need some time. We've gotten a lot of Joker lately. Joker, do you remember between Nicholson and Ledger, there was we went through this extended period of time where there was no Joker, because it was almost like no one else can do Joker. Jack Nicholson's Joker is so like iconic at that point. It was like, you cannot touch it. And then they did Ledger, and it was like, whoa, like, this is amazing. It's iconic. And then it was like Leto and Phoenix,
who won an Academy Award.
But it's just been a lot of Joker lately. And so to have that reference directly in the first movie, I'm like, not yet.
Give yourself some time.
Give yourself some time. Especially because
they didn't even in Batman Begins, they just kind of handed over like a Joker card,
Yeah.
They didn't paint themselves into a corner like this one.
And I guess they could just keep him in Arkham. I don't think that they will, but they could. He could just be a background character or something like that. I don't know. But you've already kind of opened that can of worms. And I was kind of like, I didn't need that just yet. Okay, so we're going a little bit long, but I do want to. What were some like highlights? What were some things that stuck out to you that you're like, this made me happy as a Batman fan?
The fight choreography and Batman's fighting style, that made me very happy. Batman, a movie this dark, and I love a dark Batman. Also, with alluding to the optimism of Batman 66 without being cheesy, and I was really looking for that. I was like, if this gets cheesy, that's ridiculous. I'm out. I'm out, everybody. It didn't get cheesy as far as I was concerned. I thought it was really cool, and he's like also a symbol of hope, more than just vengeance. It made me happy. And them calling him Vengeance, like Catwoman was like, come on, Vengeance. And even Penguin was like, come on, Vengeance. I was like, I don't know why that one made me happy, but it really just kind of did. That the Batmobile, that muscle car, and that part where Penguin's like, "Yeah, I got you, and then boom, he comes right out. That was really cool. And I'm not like a big Batmobile person, but I love a good Batmobile, but it's just not something I really focus on, and that was pretty cool. I loved his portrayal of the Batman. His calm coolness and collectedness made me happy, because I was like, Batman is so above this, he's not going to care. And he didn't. He was like, I got a job to do.
Yeah.
I'm doing my thing. I am calm and collected. I'm taking everything in. I loved how they did that. I thought it was really cool. I'm a big Batman fan, and I can't stand it when, portrayals get it wrong. And I think that they got him right, and that made me very pleased. Were there some things that were like, fundamentally wrong with the character? I don't know. I'd have to think about it more. Were there a lot of fundamental rights? Absolutely.
Sure.
And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. What about you, Brode?
Oh,
favorite
man.
things that made you.
The way that they like introduced stuff. The opening segment with him, where he's talking about how he is the shadows and how he has created this fear throughout the city, where every person that's doing something wrong looks in the shadows and thinks Batman is there. And then the way that they introduce him by walking up, it's another one of those things where, like, it could have been stealth. He could have come down. He could have dropped a smoke bomb. He could have just left everybody dropped. But, like, he walked up really slowly. But it was such a cool introduction to the character, right? It was such a cool first reveal. And then they did it again with the Batmobile. Now, I am a big Batmobile lover. I love the Batmobile. I love all the not all of them. I love the Batmobile. And this Batmobile just rocked. And the way that they introduced this, yes, I've heard people complain that it was too long. The revving the engine was too long. I don't care. I loved it. Just the way that they like built this thing up, and it was so loud. And because I was in the theaters with the DTX, like the whole place was shaking. It was so loud. And I was just sitting there smiling like, this is awesome. I love this. And that whole chase scene was amazing. I loved it so much. It was so cool. It made me so happy. Oh man, it was really, really good. Like I said, there's things that I think this movie did better than any movie, and those were some of them. Those were some of them.
He was really human in this. He was a big presence, because you're right. That I was even getting nervous. I was like, which one of these shadows is he gonna get out of here? It's what's happening? But I mean, I love that he also was able to kind of play human and walk around with like the police. I mean, those scenes as well, I thought were just great. And when he was about to jump off of that building, it was scared for a second, and he should have been. No other Batman has ever looked off a building and been like, they'd be like, yeah, let's do this. I'm jumping because I'm Batman. And he was just like, he stopped. He's like, whoa,
yeah,
no. All right, fine. And I mean, I love that part to it, because fundamentally, Batman is human. He's not Superman, and he's very vulnerable. Even though after he did jump, he may as well have been Superman, because he would not have lived. But either way, like,
yeah,
I thought it was great. I love the humanity.
Yeah. No, I really liked it. You know, minor nitpicks here and there, you know, but why didn't the cops take off his mask while they were there? Why'd they drag him all the way back to the police headquarters to then fight over taking off his mask? I don't know.
And
I don't know.
him wearing gloves has nothing to do with like the forensic evidence. The lawyers could still say that Batman tampered with evidence, you know. So gloves aren't going to do it, just to let everybody know.
So either way, you know, really minor things. Minor things.
Yeah.
Overall, really enjoyed this movie.
Excellent movie.
I haven't watched it all the way through yet since it came onto HBO, but I've started watching it. It's a long movie. It's a long movie.
It's true.
It is.
It's good. I still thought it was really great. When I saw that runtime, I was like, whoa.
It's a long
and I was like, let's have a little bit more. I can take it.
But I think it was worth it. I think it, you know, could have been trimmed a little bit, maybe, but you know, it's good Batman, so I'll take the 3 hours.
Yes.
And I look forward to what they do. Yeah. So
right? I mean,
let us know in the comments what you guys thought of this. We are looking through the comments, and we want to interact with you guys, so let us know. All right, Tudong, you have anything else you want to add to this review? This is a long one. This is a long episode, but
it's okay. I have said my piece, sir. I've said anything you want to add.
Nope. I'm good. Just to wrap things up. Like I said, we got a lot of things that we're hoping to do with Batman, kind of touching on this Batman topic of these movies, and there's been so many of them, and we've had multiple Batmans and Batsuits and Batmobiles and all this stuff. So, you know, we do hope to kind of have some fun with this. May not be next week, may not be the week after. We don't know. You know, we're just a little tiny channel that is limited by time. So, all right, Tudong, how about you take us home?
All right. Folks always come back here every single Wednesday. And if you want to see what's happening, go ahead and, you know, like right down below or click down below and see some other videos from the past. But on the other hand, if you want to come back, click under the beard where the subscribe, so you can subscribe, so you can always come back every single Wednesday, because we'll miss you otherwise. Well, and we love you.
We love you. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.